What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm super stoked about this one today. You're gonna wanna watch this whole video because today we're gonna be covering the 4 major training modalities and what you should be focusing on according to your health and fitness goals. So training modality number 1 is gonna be strength training. How to increase your body's pure strength, whether that is for powerlifting or a specific sport. Training modality number 2, we're going to be covering hypertrophy training. How to build more muscle mass, how to get jacked, how to build that body that you've been wanting to build for a while now. Training modality number 3, we're going to be covering high intensity interval training, which has been blowing up lately in the last 10 years. A lot of people use this for fat loss, but we're going to go into detail on who should be using high intensity interval training. And training modality number 4, what I consider or call steady state cardio, threshold training, or just pure endurance training. So let's go through each training modality and talk about who should be using these modalities and what you should be using these modalities for. All right, so training modality number 1 that I want to cover today is pure strength training. Basically maximizing the amount of weight and force that your body can generate when it comes to a specific lift. So usually when we're talking about pure strength training, the people that are going to be wanting to utilize this the most are going to be people that want to compete in powerlifting, somebody who's looking to, let's say, increase their vertical jump for a specific sport or their quickness. When it comes to this type of training, we're not looking at doing a ton of reps. We're looking at how much weight, how much force can we generate for 1 to 2 repetitions and how can we increase that. So back in the days when I was a power lifter, that was my main focus. I beat some Washington State USPA powerlifting records. I was able to deadlift 605 pounds at a body weight of 181, or that was my weight class. I bench pressed 325 and I squatted, I'm pretty sure it was 425 or 435. So I have some good experience at training for just pure strength, and I'm gonna get into that with you today. So when we're training for pure strength, we're gonna be working in the 85 to 95% of our 1 rep max. Okay, so for example, what that looks like is, let's say my 1 rep max on deadlift is about 215 pounds. At 185, I'm gonna be somewhere in that 85 to 90% percentile on this weight right here. So if we're deadlifting, we're only gonna be concentrating on a rep range of between about 2 and 5 reps with very heavy weight, okay? And then after I get done with my deadlift, I'm gonna be resting for about 2 to 3 minutes before I come back and perform another set there. The reason why we're taking such big rest breaks is because we want our muscles to fully recover, and we want to be able to generate as much force on the first set as we're doing on the third set. So when it comes to increasing your strength at a specific lift, we're just concentrating on that 1 lift. We're not gonna be supersetting with a bunch of other lifts. I'm just gonna be deadlifting, and I'm gonna be doing about 3 to 5 sets of 2 to 5 repetitions in the 85 to 95 percentile range of my 1 rep max. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the benefits of lifting super heavy, of only performing 3 to 5 sets kind of per big lift right here. So some of the benefits is that, number 1, we're gonna be performing at our absolute top power every single time we lift this weight right here. Another benefit is that since we're not performing a huge amount of volume at this weight, your body is gonna recover very fast. So we're gonna be able to perform deadlifts, 2 to 3 times in a 3 to 5 day period and get more training and more repetitions at a higher weight load, which is gonna help your body get stronger a lot faster. Some of the downsides is that if you're looking to build muscle mass, we're not gonna be building a ton of muscle mass if we're just doing low volume like this. but you can build a ton of strength without building a lot of muscle mass. Okay, so let's talk about training modality number 2, which is referred to as hypertrophy training. So hypertrophy training is focusing on building more muscle mass and building bigger muscles. So when you're thinking about bodybuilders, somebody that's on stage and they have that perfect physique, these are the type of people that are doing a ton of hypertrophy training. So hypertrophy training, what it is referring to is the amount of volume that we are doing in a given workout. So there's 3 ways to increase the amount of volume that we're doing in our workouts. Way number 1 is to increase the amount of reps that we're doing per exercise. Way number 2 is going to be increasing the number of sets we're doing per exercise. And way number 3 to increase our volume is going to be to increase the amount of weight that we're lifting, but keeping the number of sets and the amount of reps the same. So 3 different ways to increase our volume there. And why volume is so important is because our bodies will get used to certain amounts of volume that we're doing. So if we're coming to the gym every single day and we want to build a bigger chest, but week after week after week, we're just, doing 3 sets of bench press at 10 reps, your body's going to adapt very fast to that, okay? So ways that we can increase the volume is going to be increase the amount of weight that we're lifting for sets of 10, increasing the number of sets we're doing. So instead of doing 3 sets, we're now doing 5 sets of 10, and also increasing the overall amount of repetitions we're doing. So now maybe we're doing 3 sets of 15 repetitions at the same weight. Those are all ways to increase the amount of volume we're doing and build bigger muscles. So when it comes to hypertrophy training, we don't have to just focus on one exercise before we move on to another exercise, okay? So when we're doing our strength training that we just covered, we're focusing on one exercise and then moving on after we complete all those sets and repetitions. With hypertrophy training, we might be performing bench press for sets of 10, taking about a 30-second, 1-minute break, then going into some bicep curls for sets of 6 to 8, and then even going into, some pull-ups to work the lats there for another set of 8 to 12. So we don't have to just focus on one exercise. We can superset, we can pair different exercises, different muscle groups together in order to increase the amount of blood flow. We're getting into those muscles, expand the muscle fibers, and eventually create the change to build bigger, leaner muscle mass on our bodies. All right, so when it comes to hypertrophy training, let's say I'm bench pressing here. Usually the rep ranges we are going to be performing with hypertrophy is going to be between about 6 at the minimum to about 15, sometimes 20 at the maximum here. And the cool thing about hypertrophy training as well is that we're also going to be building endurance. We're also going to be increasing strength if this is done correctly. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds when it comes to hypertrophy training. We're still going to be gaining strength, gaining endurance, but also building bigger muscles. Training module number 3 we're about to cover is going to be interval training, also known as HIIT training, stands for high intensity interval training. Ton of different ways to do interval training. So some of the most popular ones are body weight intervals, where let's say we're doing push-ups for 30 seconds. All right, 30 seconds is done. We're taking a quick little 10-second shakeout here. Then we're going into body weight squats for 30 seconds. 10-second shakeout. Then we're going into side lunges, 30 seconds, and kind of so forth. So that's an example of body weight interval training, where we're doing a specific exercise for a specific amount of time, getting as many reps in of that exercise as we can, and then we have a specific amount of rest. So another version of interval training is where we're using the weights, okay? And we're doing a circuit with weights. So let's say this morning our workout at the gym was all weight training, interval training. So an example of this is, let's say we're doing 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 4 different exercises, resting for 30 seconds, and then we're doing 4 rounds of that. So let's say I'm doing 45 seconds, kettlebell swings here, working those glutes. Let's say we got a 15-second break period, catch that breath. Then we're going into 45 seconds of kettlebell deadlifts. All right, 15-second break. Then we're going into 45 seconds of kettlebell one-arm snatches. Even add a press in there if we want to. Bam. And then last one, we got 45 seconds of burpees. Woo. Rest for 30 seconds. Then we're going 3 more rounds through that interval circuit. So that's an example of weight training combined with high intensity interval training right there. Some of the benefits of interval training is that you're gonna be burning a ton of calories in a shorter amount of time. You'll also hear my breathing right now. You're gonna gain a ton of aerobic capacity from interval training. You're gonna be able to increase your VO2 max. One thing I love about interval training is that it never gets boring. There's an infinite amount of combinations of exercises, time intervals that you can put into interval training to always keep it interesting. And it's pretty fun when you're doing it with a group of people. All right, so when we think of interval training, high intensity training, a lot of times we think of more of a cardio-based workout, not as much as a strength-based workout or a hypertrophy-based workout. So I'm gonna show you how you can combine high intensity interval training with strength, with hypertrophy to get the benefits of both worlds. So what we're gonna be doing today is, let's say we're benching our body weight. So I got 185 on here. I'm weighing about 195, but we're just saying it's body weight today. Benching our body weight, 5 reps. Then we're going to pull-ups, weighted pull-ups with a 25-pound plate around our waist. And then we're going into body weight toes to bar for sets of 5. So basically how this is gonna work is you have 20 seconds to get 5 reps done on bench press, 20 seconds to get 5 reps done on pull-ups, and then 20 seconds to get 5 toes to bar done as well for the core. 20-second break, and you're gonna go through 10 rounds of that and see if you can last the whole time. So this is a way we can combine our strength training, our hypertrophy training with interval training to get amazing benefits by combining all 3. So we're gonna show you 1 round today. 20 seconds to get this bench done. All right, rolling to our weighted pull-ups here. Gotta be quick on those transitions, baby. And then we got 5 toes to bar. All right, then we're gonna take about a 20-second break. Try to get through as many rounds as possible, or you can have a set amount of rounds, so like 5 to 10 rounds that you're doing. You're gonna get cardiovascular benefit, strength benefit, as well as hypertrophy benefit. All right, so training modality number 4 that we're gonna cover today, this is our last one, is steady state cardio, also known as threshold training or pure endurance training. So this is where we're choosing a modality to work on. It could be biking, it could be walking, running, swimming, more of an endurance-based activity, and we're working on just going at a moderate pace for a certain amount of time or a certain amount of miles. The benefits of doing threshold-based training or steady state cardio, there's quite a few. So number 1 is we are gonna increase our aerobic capacity by working at a steady state. We're not gonna be increasing our aerobic capacity as fast as if we're doing interval training. In a study by the Sports Medicine Institute, it was actually shown that you could increase You can increase your aerobic capacity faster in 2 weeks of consistent HIIT training than with 8 weeks of steady state cardio training. But if you're looking to go farther, you're looking to, hike higher, ski longer, bike more miles, you have to put in the work when it comes to steady state cardio. Your body needs to be able to build up more endurance in the muscles as well as in your aerobic capacity in the lungs to be able to go a further distance. Some other really good benefits when it comes to aerobic capacity, when it comes to steady state cardio, is that you're gonna be holding on to your lean muscle mass, okay? So by working at a moderate pace, we're not gonna be using as much glycogen, which means we're not risking burning our muscle mass instead of fat. So when we're working at a moderate intensity, we're actually burning more fat storage, which is why you'll see a ton of the massive bodybuilders not doing a ton of high intensity interval training, but doing a ton of steady state cardio like I'm doing on the bike right here. Some other benefits is that it is not that stressful on the body. Compared to high intensity interval training where we're working at a very rigorous exercise pace, right here, this is just a nice moderate pace. Your body's gonna be able to recover a lot quicker. You're gonna be able to go into that next workout fresher. All right, so in conclusion, I wanna talk about how you can use these 4 different training modalities according to what your current health and fitness goals are. So the biggest things I usually talk to people about being a personal trainer is that number 1, people want to build strength, but they also want to build some more muscle mass and get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, right? Number 2, people want to lose weight and get shredded and see more of that lean muscle mass they've been working so hard to put on. And number 3, a lot of people that come to me, they just want to be more of an athlete. They want to increase their athletic performance, their aerobic capacity. They want to be able to do more and feel really good doing the things they love. So when it comes to building strength and building lean muscle mass, the 2 biggest training modalities you should be focusing on is strength training, so the pure strength aspect, and then combining that with hypertrophy training. And what that looks like is maybe you're doing a strength portion at the beginning of your workout, so focusing on one of our big lifts, bench squats or deadlifts, working in that higher percentile range, 85 to 95% of your 1 rep maxes, performing strict sets at that 1 exercise. After that is done, then you're moving into a 35 to 60-minute long hypertrophy session. We're doing a ton of volume and really smashing the different muscle groups that you want to grow. All right, group number 2, people that are looking to lose some body fat, be able to see some more muscle definition, get toned, all that good stuff, right? We should be focusing on the hypertrophy training as well as the HIIT training. So the reason why we don't want to leave out hypertrophy training and the volume training is because if all we're doing is more cardio-based, high-intensity stuff, your body is going to start to lose strength, lose lean muscle mass, and you're going to lose some of those gains that you worked super hard to get. So I would start off with doing a hypertrophy workout, about 45, 60 minutes, and then adding in a 25, 30-minute HIIT session on the back end, or even just adding in 30 to 60 minutes of steady state cardio 3 to 4 times a week. Now for the person who's looking to just increase their athletic performance, excel at a different sport, a different training activity, we're gonna be using a full combination of these aspects and these training modalities depending on what your goal is. So for somebody who wants to do their first triathlon, we're gonna be working in some strength training with some high intensity interval training with a really good amount of steady state cardio. So there's no right or wrong way to pair these different modalities together. You're gonna hopefully find a training program that is gonna fit exactly what you want, where you're having fun, it's sustainable. And I'm mixing all these training modalities up in my current program all the time, just depending what I'm training for. So I hope this video helped you, just gave you some insight into what these training modalities are, what they're used for, you understand them a little bit better, and you see how you can apply these to your program. If you guys gain some value from this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give us some love, and please just comment below with anything else you would love to see, other content ideas, but we'll be coming at you next week. Get it how you live it, baby.